would win in a waifu deathmatch? A chaotic demon gremlin with infinite ADHD energy who's obsessed with turning Iruma into her personal plaything? Okay, not like that, guys. Come on, relax. I'm not trying to get demonetized 2 seconds in. Or a 6'2" Super Saiyan demon waifu who's already planning their half-demon children like it's her destiny. Well, I'm here to break down who exactly will win Iruma's heart out of our two favorite girls, Ameri and Clara. To do this, we need to quickly explain the two of them and their hints towards their relationship with Iruma. So let's start with who Iruma met first. Clara. Iruma met Clara very early in the series, being the first person to actually appreciate her value and friendship after she was used for who knows how long. Iruma refused to take food from her. That's how you know he was serious. He changed Clara from this point on, as she was willing to let her bold personality show more than ever before, without the fear of being judged. Now they continue to be friends, but things start to shift when Ameri is first introduced. I'll go into more of that later, but Clara starts to get insanely jealous that Iruma is spending so much time with her. She even starts taking succubus charming lessons with Rain to get Iruma's attention, which, yeah, doesn't go too well. Needless to say that Iruma isn't attracted to her, he's just heavily confused, which makes sense. Clara is close to giving up, but it's thanks to Iruma simply recognizing her as a girl that she snaps out of it and gets extremely happy again. She actually manages to make Iruma's heart jump as she tells him, "I'll make you fall head over heels for me." And her sexiness meter goes from 2 to 10 on a scale of 100. Yeah, that's still nothing, but still, it's an improvement, right? But even though it wasn't a crazy reaction, she still did get Iruma to blush, right? And feel something for her, and Clara definitely hadn't done that yet. But honestly, things get crazy when Iruma goes into his evil cycle, because we get this moment, which is crazy. I don't blame Clara for losing it here. But unlike what you'd see in other manga, Ameri and Clara do not actually hate each other. It's not some weird love triangle, which, by the way, is a big pet peeve of mine. I hate that shit. It's such forced conflict. And in fact, they become quick friends, and that's super refreshing. Like, in so many manga, as I mentioned, there's this horrible love triangle with jealousy, toxicity, but with these two, they just happen to like the same guy. But we do see that Clara does have future ideas for what she wants with Iruma, as when she's asked if she ever wants to marry him by Elizabetta, she has this reaction. This is when Ameri even says that Clara is a huge threat to her relationship with Iruma, which is pretty hilarious. Clara is pretty serious about Iruma though, as her siblings mention how she's always talking about him more than Asmodeus. That same day, we get this amazing moment as well, when Iruma and Az can't help but fall asleep to Clara's singing. Then during the Harvest Festival, we get the biggest moments between the two of them. First, we get the usage of Clara's toy box. She pulls Iruma into this stuffed animal and hugs him in a very sussy way that would make anyone blush, but then she turns him into a child. Yeah, not in the Diddy way, but in a fun way. Playing with him within her toy box, but she runs out of mana at the exact same time as him because the more head over heels you are, the more exhausted you become, and since she also collapsed, that means they're both head over heels, right? Well, not exactly, but we'll talk more about this later. Clara won this battle over Iruma either way, but then we have to fast forward to a later moment. Clara was affected by a spell that made her see her greatest fear, which in her case is Iruma asking for snacks, saying it in the exact same way as those demons that used her before did, which would mean that Iruma doesn't truly appreciate her for who she is, she's just a tool. But before she falls into this darkness, Iruma sees her. He pulls off his best shot in the story so far, hitting the beast that has transformed into this hallucination. Iruma hugs Clara and thanks Bachiko for teaching him archery. It was all worth it to save Clara. This also benefits him later, as the selfless nature of Iruma caused him to win the entire Harvest Festival, as Clara was the one who played a pivotal role in giving him enough mana to make the seed of beginning blossom. Unfortunately, we did have to wait a while after this to get a big moment between the two again, which is in chapter 176, when Clara tells Iruma that she loves him. Yeah, baby! Okay, relax guys, it's more in a friend way because she was sick of being separated from him in the music festival arc, so like a normal person, she kidnaps him. This is after Az was acting kinda strange due to his encounter with Amy Kirio, with them both knowing that something was up, and Clara is a lot more emotionally intelligent than people give her credit for. She tells Iruma that she loves him, but she also loves Asmodeus, but she also knows that Iruma can help Az at the moment more than she can, telling Iruma to spend more time with him. This This is critical because it shows that sometimes Clara knows Iruma better than he knows himself, with these moments eventually leading to Iruma calling the three of them soulmates. Obviously, he didn't mean this romantically, that'd be kind of a crazy twist if this turns up in some weird freeway. But honestly, the most insane moment we ever got from Clara is, of course, her evil phase recently. I already did a full video on this, which by the way did insanely well, and I was talking in my Discord about how much disbelief I was in with how much it banged, but thank you so much for the support. I don't understand why it's still getting views, and if you want to join the Discord, then feel free to, it's on screen right now. But yeah, we do need to talk about how much this love of hers actually translates to pure possessiveness, because as soon as she goes into her evil cycle, she kidnaps both Iruma and Asmodeus, before saying that he can't talk to anyone but her. He can't touch or even look at anyone except for Clara. This shit was low-key terrifying, as she said that Iruma is hers. Clara even goes to kiss Iruma with no hesitation, then chains them both up like they're her pets. Now, this isn't because she's really kinky, or at least not fully. She's more just terrified of losing them, to the point where she'd rather have them tied up for eternity in her toy box than lose them. And Iruma was kinda happy she cared this much. But when both Az and Iruma delve into her true emotions and feelings, she loves them both the most and is just terrified that they'll leave her since she'd never had a true friend before them. You know what, I'm just gonna leave that in. She was always just used. Iruma has to tell her that he loves her. Now, he meant this platonically, of course, but she didn't take this the right way and lost it even more, telling him that it's more of a reason to keep them there forever. But it isn't Iruma that pulls her out of this cycle, it's Asmodeus, which we'll discuss more later. This is the end of the major moments between the two, so let's move on to the woman who's somehow the same height as me, Ameri. Yeah, this woman is somehow 6'2". I don't know how this works, but you know, we love a tall queen. But you can't talk about Ameri x Iruma without first talking about their initial meeting, because that moment immediately hits different. Ameri is the student council president, intimidating, powerful, and emotionally distant. Iruma, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. He's non-confrontational, passive, and just trying to survive this bizarre new demon school life. But the second they interact, something incredible happens. Instead of cowering or groveling, Iruma compliments the book Ameri is reading. Not sarcastically, not trying to flirt, just being Iruma. And that single moment breaks through the shell Ameri's built around herself for years. It isn't played for a gag, it's a real spark of connection built on respect and sincerity. Iruma doesn't see her title, her power, or her reputation, but the beauty of Ameri x Iruma isn't just in how it starts, it's in how it evolves. Ameri's crush doesn't come from comedy or misunderstanding, it comes from admiration. Iruma is kind in a way no one else in the demon world is. Their dynamic isn't about power, it's about balance. Ameri finds herself wanting to be close to him, not because he completes her, but because he makes her want to be better. And Iruma, well, he's clueless at first, but he treats Ameri with care and attention, even when he doesn't understand her feelings. And that's crucial because this is where the relationship gets even better. Nishi doesn't rush things. There's no forced confession, no accidental kiss, no fan service overload to sell you on the pairing. Instead, their relationship develops through shared time, through Ameri slowly opening up, and through Iruma learning how to emotionally support someone who intimidates them. Their dates are so awkward and sweet. Their moments alone are filled with nervous energy, but also trust, with them both always believing in each other. Ameri grows throughout this relationship as well. She goes from someone who's emotionally locked off and overbearing to someone who's learning vulnerability. She keeps her pride and strength, but softens without losing her identity. In fact, I'd say her identity grows even stronger. And Iruma, his relationship with Ameri is the entire reason he's even built a backbone. She's the core of his growth. He learns how to assert his feelings and take action, not just because of danger or duty, but because he cares. Their relationship helps both characters develop, which, to be fair, is what a good romance should do. That's why the confession scene hits so hard. By the time we get to Ameri's confession, it doesn't feel like a twist or sudden development, it feels earned. This isn't a one-sided crush either, it's a mutual relationship built on communication, growth, and actual emotional maturity. And it never compromises the rest of the story. Iruma still faces wild challenges, Ameri still has her responsibilities, the comedy, the action, the school hijinks, none of it disappears. But the romance is there, steady and warm, adding emotional stakes and giving both characters a deeper sense of purpose. Then the recent chapters changed everything even more, with Ameri admitting more to her true feelings, not wanting to go down the usual paths as planned, almost kissing our guy. That's right, she had Iruma pinned down and almost got what both her and Clara always wanted. The only reason that didn't happen is purely because of the damn phone call again. But who do I personally believe is a better fit for Iruma? Well, yeah, it's kind of obvious based on one of my best performing videos, but there is genuinely an argument for the both of them. Now, Clara definitely brings out Iruma's protective nature and his courage. She's always pushing him to do what's right and reflect on his own feelings. She's the emotional backbone of the love trio, with both of them relying on her even if they don't realise it. She doesn't outright tell Iruma what to do, but she hints and lets him come to his own conclusion, like when she realised something was off with Asmodeus and knew Iruma was the only one who could bring him back. She kind of allows Iruma to relax as well, gently putting him to sleep on a few occasions, and not only that, she lets Iruma have the fun that he always missed in his childhood. Look at her toy box. No one enjoyed it more than Iruma in the Harvest Festival, so she's actually getting Iruma to move past his trauma. But deep down, she's just afraid of losing him, just like Iruma was afraid that she and Asmodeus would leave him. But what about Ameri? Well, she is Iruma's main inspiration in the series. He never would have even attempted to rank up if not for her, and the way she leads, it's what Iruma wants to be. Ameri makes Iruma push harder than he ever would have without her, teaching him what desires actually are to a demon. So whilst Clara helps Iruma deal with the past, Ameri has him looking to the future. Iruma always says how he wants to catch up to her, but it goes both ways. Iruma is the one who brought Ameri out of her brainwashing. He saved her from the horrible dance she almost had to do as well. Obviously, I've went into incredible detail into this relationship in the past, so I won't yap too much. So who will actually be victorious? Well, it's pretty clearly Ameri for a few reasons. First of all, unlike Clara, they've went on a number of dates and has aggressively blushed when she hugged him, and not only that, but he doesn't even know how to define her right now. Iruma very clearly loves Ameri, but he doesn't know what love is yet. When he finally reaches her, he'll realise his true emotions, but honestly, this isn't why I think Ameri will win. Clara and Iruma just wouldn't really work romantically. She's been like a big sister throughout the series, and despite Japan sometimes doing Japan things, I don't really see it romantically. I even think that Clara's mistook her own feelings. Iruma was the first one to actually like her, and this comfort and security she felt was most likely mistaken for love. It's more of a crush than anything, and she definitely loves him, just not romantically. She's also just terrified of losing him. It's more like a pure obsession than anything else. And whilst the whole evil cycle was going on, it wasn't even Iruma who brought her out of it, it was Asmodeus, making me believe that they're more destined to be together. There's been a few moments when I've been like, well, but yeah, that's honestly for a future video. When they start calling each other by their first names, their personal moments worrying about Iruma, and of course the recent chapters where Asmodeus literally says that he'll never leave her no matter what. This is borderline a proposal, my guy. She was more scared of losing him than anyone else. Not even Iruma, it was more Az. I don't think they full on love each other yet, but I think they make a great couple, and I think they'd be hilarious more than anything else. Clara would bring out Asmodeus' more fun side and bring him down to earth like she already does, and Asmodeus would calm down Clara when she needs to be a bit more logical. However, looking at the recent chapters of Ameri, everything becomes a bit more clear. We've never gotten anything like this from Clara. They genuinely almost kissed, for God's sake, and Ameri was basically confessing this entire chapter. But it wasn't just her, we learned why Iruma was so stupid, like thinking she was hungry or some shit. Bro was just in deep denial that Ameri likes him. Man was blushing like crazy but still refusing to clock it. He's just not ready to accept it yet. But low-key, I've changed my mind on when these two are going to end up together, because it's happening a lot sooner than I could have ever imagined. I mean, Ameri literally said that she wants to skip the steps, and Iruma blushing the way he did and just disregarding what happened, it's made it very, very obvious to me that he loves her, and obviously Ameri's loved him for a long time. But if you guys do want to discuss more Iruma content, join my Discord. It's honestly getting so big, and I'm loving my community right now, because it's actually really fun to talk in there about Iruma and other manga in general. So yeah, make sure to join that, and make sure to check out my video on Iruma x Ameri, because I go into much more detail as to why I think they're perfect together. So yeah.